Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be looking at the Dark Angel Codex. I've gone through it. I've picked out some of the juiciest details of all the new lore and all the new what's going on with the Dark Angels with the new 8th edition storyline, and there's some brilliant stuff in this codex. I was so much looking forward to getting this. I finally got my hands on it and I am not surprised on just how good it is. It is great. So let's jump in, let's get the video started and let's discuss some of this awesome new lore. So let's start off with probably the biggest thing is the Great Rift. The Great Rift happens and the Rock is caught in the Imperium Nihilius sector. That means they're caught in the northern sector of the Great Rift. And for those of you who don't know, the Supreme Commander in the northern sector now is Dante, and he was made the Supreme Commander of the Nihilius sector by none other than Guilliman himself. So during the Great Rift, there is chaos everywhere. Chaotic planets are falling, worlds are just being burned, there's demons everywhere. And during this maddening time, the Rock is actually besieged. A demon army led by a fallen demon prince, Marbas, penetrates the shields that surround the asteroid base. So the demon army led by the fallen demon prince managed to take the fight actually inside of the Rock itself. They're fighting in the grand halls, they're even cutting through some of the inner sub-levels, and we all know the deeper you go down the Rock, the more secrets you start to uncover. But as the conflict reaches its most climactic point, all of a sudden the demon army just disappears. There's just no demons and everyone's confused and like, okay, where is everything gone? And now there's one thing which only one person knows, and that is the Supreme Grand Master, which is Azrael, and he thinks that the attack itself is just a mere distraction. Because in the deepest dungeon, a secret prisoner, only known to him by the way, has been set free. Now we all know that prisoner is Luther. Luther is now set free in the 8th edition story. He is no longer a captive upon the Rock itself. Now, I'm going to go into a bit more of that at the end of the video because it'll make a bit more sense. That leads us in with some of the story there. So let's go on to the next major thing which happened with the Dark Angels, which is the massacre at Darkmoor. So upon the planet of Darkmoor, elements of half a dozen Unforgiven Chapters descend upon the Shrine World. They come with companies of Angels of Vengeance, the Consecrators, and the Guardians of the Covenant. They've all followed their librarians' instructions to go to the planet, searching for newly manifested Fallen. Since the Great Rift has opened, a huge army of Fallen has ventured out of it, and they're in full-on hunt mode to try and take them down and make sure none of their little secrets start to spread. But as they get up on the planet, they soon discover that it is them who are the hunted, not the Fallen. As they actually arrive on the planet's surface, the Unforgiven Chapters, who have all banded together, find all the cathedrals are in ruins, the populace is slaughtered, and awaiting them in ambush are armies of demons, Chaos Space Marines, and renegades. And it says actually in the book, what follows is the worst single incident of losses suffered by Unforgiven since the Forgotten Wars. Less than 100 Space Marines from the original contingent of 1,000 managed to escape. Now, those Marines who did manage to survive only survived the ambush because of one person, and that was Cypher. The actual Unforgiven Chapters who banded together, the last of the people who actually were surviving the massacre, were in pursuit of Cypher. Now, in their pursuit of Cypher, he led them to a secret teleportation device upon the planet. Now, we can come at it from two angles. Maybe he was just saving his own behind and just wanted to get off the planet because he knew he was being hunted. Or maybe he led them there on purpose so they could escape and report back to Azrael of what was going on Darkmoor. Who knows? This is Cypher just summed up. No one really knows his intentions, but I am very much looking forward to stories set in the 8th edition with him. I'm really interested to see if maybe they'll just tease us a little bit more on what he really wants from his viewpoint. Now, in the wake of these disastrous events, Azrael decides to convene an emergency council of the Unforgiven Supreme Grand Masters, several of whom who are nearby following the Darkmoor massacre. The Dark Angels librarians managed to break open a psychic say, corridor in the Great Rift, and they managed to send out scattered astropathic summons to all the Unforgiven chapters, telling them to come back to the rock. We need you here right now. We need to gather all our strength. Several librarians died to achieve this, but soon every loyal son of the Lion is preparing to embark on a perilous journey to the rock. So all in all, even though some died, they managed to get their message out. But of course, the Great Rift is still a huge problem. Now, not all chapters manage to find their way home. Some successors chapters just become lost in the warp. It doesn't state which ones, while others find themselves bogged down in one of the galaxy's many raging conflicts due to the Great Warp opening and demons and chaos and all the nasty bits everywhere. Azrael decides he can no longer wait for the remaining successors to arrive. He's informed of a new fleet transitioning into orbit around the rock. It's no Xenos fleet, it's not a Chaos fleet, or it's not even the Unforgiven chapters he's waiting for, but Lord Commander of the Imperium, Rebooter Guilliman himself. Azrael fears the worst at this. He doesn't have the strength to defend the rock, and the newly returned Primarch knows the truth of the Dark Angel's hidden past. Azrael actually debates whether to withdraw the assembled Unforgiven chapters or to actually make a stand and take up arms against Guilliman and his delegation, which is completely insane. Azrael fears the worst now. He fears that he's going to be judged for all the wrong which has been done within his chapter's name. So he's quite scared. It's madness. It's just absolutely madness. Azrael, what are you doing? It's Guilliman. I'm sure he... you can explain to him what your intentions are. So he manages to do neither. He actually allows Guilliman's fleets to dock without incident, which is great. The last thing we wanted is another bloody kind of civil war between some of the greatest chapters that are out in the Imperium. It quickly becomes clear that the newly arrived fleet does not come to deliver censure, but much needed reinforcements. From the depths of Belisarius Claw's vast freighter hulk march Primaris Space Marines. Rank upon rank of them enter the rock, clad in new variants of armour painted in colours of Dark Angels and their successors. Guilliman holds a war council with Azrael and the other Grandmasters. He outlines the threats facing the Imperium and his plans to continue the Indominus crusade and, take back what the Great Rift has ripped apart and all that kind of stuff. He also speaks about the updated Codex Astartes and how his brother Lionel Johnson's descendants have earned the right to maintain their specialised wings as long as they continue to serve the Emperor's will. Azrael and the other Supreme Grandmasters kneel before Guilliman and pledge their chapters to the new Imperium. The new Imperium is probably the main word there. That is very, very... could that be considered heretical? I'm not too sure. I think we can have a little debate about that in the comment section. So this new Dark Imperium in the darkest reaches of the galaxy, shorn from the light of the Emperor, Azrael can now more easily coordinate the inner circle, responding to distress calls that flood in from isolated and warp storm battered worlds of the galactic north. In addition to breaking sieges and rescuing populations, the Dark Angels and their successors continue to hunt for the fallen, especially pursuing any signs of Cypher and the Demon Prince Marbas. With this new crusade comes the reinforced Primaris Marines. Now, immediate concerns over the Primaris Marines are satisfied as the new warriors adapt to the unforgiven ways of war and perform well alongside their battle brothers. The inner circle still remains hostile to their presence, of course, for the newcomers have yet gone through the long indoctrinations, nor heard the carefully built-up tales that prepare them to one day hear the truth. I wonder what truth that could be, eh? As the campaigns progress and decades pass, many of the Primaris Marines gain veteran status, and it remains only a matter of time before a decision must be made to initiate one into the Death Wing. Now, of course, we're going to leave the most juiciest stuff to this last bit, and the Fallen are starting to rise. The Dark Angels, along their new crusade, have begin to torture some Fallen they've captured. They've got confessions, and they've got prisoners who have also confessed, and they tell of a mustering within the darkest recesses of warp-shrouded Nefarious sector. So in the northern bits and the most darkest areas, there's a gathering. They speak of a gathering of many of the fallen, a corrupted legion resembling in numbers enough to bring the entire galaxy to heel. Now, Azrael suspects they are being led by one person, and only that one person he knows exists, and that is Luthor. This Dark Angel Codex is amazing. Everyone knows how much I love the lore and all of everything that's happening in 8th edition. This is just... It's just pushing my buttons in the right places. Luthor has escaped, and if I'm reading in the text correctly, he's begin to assemble a fallen army, and this fallen army is just getting huge. There's tens of thousands of fallen now who are all banding together, and it looks like Luthor is their leader. This is going to be amazing. Does this mean that we're going to get like a fallen faction maybe in the future? Is this going to lead into some campaigns? I'm really looking forward now to next year and what's going to be coming next year, because I really do think there's going to be some huge things happening. If Luthor does return with this huge fallen army, the Lion has to wake up. This is the time for the Lion now to rise and take on Luthor once more and battle the fallen and just bring justice to everything that has happened to the Dark Angels. I loved just reading this. It's been absolutely amazing. You can probably tell how excited I am in my voice. It's been absolutely bloody brilliant, and I've not covered most of the book. I've just covered some of the most juicy stuff in the book. If you haven't got this book yet, and you're a big lore fan, you're a big Dark Angel fan, go and get it. You will not be disappointed. Right, chaps, that is me done for the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I passed on some information. Like I said, go and get this book. It's incredible. It's amazing. I'd love everything that's going on with 8th edition so far. I would love to get all your feedback, all your comments and stuff. Do you hate this? Do you love it? Post all down below in the comments section. Of course, let's be nice to each other. Let's not insult each other because people disagree. And yeah, let's have a nice little talk about it. Thank you for watching once again. I shall see you all very, very soon. Hopefully soon, I'll be doing this to the Space Wolves, because that's going to be interesting as well to see how they're handling everything with Fenris burning to Magnus and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we will have the Codex of the Space Wolves with us within the next couple of months. See you now. Bye-bye, and have a great week.